today will be discussing OnBase and its agenda management solution and how agenda management can be really taken over from start to finish using the OnBase modules. I am Brandon Beller, along with Colin Dinkel. We are both senior sales executives here at Naviant on our government and tribal government team. We are extremely fortunate to have a guest, LuAnn Leggett, from the Deputy Administrator and Village Clerk at the Village of DeForest, Wisconsin. LuAnn is here to talk about their transition to OnBase from another legacy agenda management system, and then some other uses that they're using OnBase for throughout the village. For anyone new to Naviant, we are a 35-year-old business process management consulting firm, again, with a focus on business process management and enterprise content services. Again, document content management, OCR, workflow, and such. And again, the software that we'll be referencing today is OnBase, which has been developed by Hyland Software. And we, Naviant, are a leader of the business process partnerships. We have 12 offices across the United States, and we are headquartered in Verona, Wisconsin. So OnBase is a content management platform, right? Think of it as the single platform for everything related to content management, document management, data management, and so on. So, it houses 300 plus different modules or tools that allow you to do everything from capture, store, retrieve, manage the content, manage the processes, kick off workflows, approvals, redactions, communication management, collaboration. It has a whole case management feature, reportings, analytics, dashboards, search, records management, and you kind of get the idea, right? It is this entire platform that allows you to do everything that involves content management or managing your content. And the beauty of it is, again, we'll be talking about agenda management today, but it's just a drop in the bucket, right? It is this platform, and it's scalable throughout the entire organization. So again, everything from your finance and administration and doing automating your accounts payable and your vendor management to plan review for planning and public works and GIS integrations, certainly the clerk's office and agenda management and public records, but justice, public safety, court case management, health, housing, and human services. Again, the list kind of goes on and on, but again, I really wanted to highlight that although OnBase has an amazing agenda management function, it isn't just an agenda management tool. It is a scalable solution that will grow with you in the organization, and once it is implemented in a certain use case, you now have that foundation to take advantage of another department. So I turn it over to you, Colin.
Thank you, Brandon. As you can all see, this is Mr. Potato Head, the beloved toy 2000 National Toy Hall of Fame inductee and the bane of my childhood. It wasn't just the fact that playing with Mr. Potato Head meant that a cavity drilling was just around the corner. It's also the reason that I'm presenting today to all of you and not working as an engineer at NASA. There was never a box to reference. Somehow that always just got tossed out immediately. So my little spud man usually looked like Chunk from Goonies. To give myself credit, there was always an ear and an arm or something missing. You could never fit everything back into his backside. So pieces always were gone. And then they released Toy Story to give children no chance to ever live up to expectation. I've talked to enough clerks to realize that agenda creation and management is like a never-ending game of Mr. Potato Head. There are no instructions, yet everyone has an idea of what it should look like. Pieces are missing, and just when you think you've put everything in place, someone wants to add something, and it feels impossible to fit everything where it belongs. The only difference is that when I created my Mr. Potato Head, I was the only critic. In your careers, there are 1,000 people excited to give you feedback. I recently saw a survey that found clerks dedicate 51% of their work hours to legislative duties. These duties are meeting minutes, agenda minutes, records management, and legislative tracking. How much time do you spend standing at the copy machine before every board or staff meeting? How many times do you end up having to recycle everything you've just previously printed, copied, and collated because there was a last minute change causing you to reprint everything again? or just accepting response and responding to requests from citizens for transparency documents? What about following up with staff to confirm agenda items and associated attachments? As I think through that whole process and the frustration of that process, it's why I'm excited today to take a look at how OnBase can help tackle the problems with agenda management. OnBase transforms the agenda process by digitizing and streamlining the agenda and minutes creation. This provides online access to public records and then extends past the desktop and gives people the opportunity to access information, video, archives, minutes through mobile devices. So if we go back and we realize that 51% of your time is really taken from you because of these creation of agenda, standing by the copy machine, the frustrating cycle of feeling like you've completed it only to learn that there's something else. OnBase Agenda Management really is there to make staff more efficient and frees up you and your staff to be able to do what you thought you were going to do when you got hired for the position. Be able to start thinking strategically and doing those things that you would hope to do all along. OnBase helps put controls around the entire agenda management process. OnBase can automate the creation and approval of items, helps manage the meetings, including the motions, votes, minutes, and media, and then automatically distributes post-meeting content to all of your constituents. But as LeVar Burton said in Reading Rainbow, you don't have to take our word for it. We are so honored today to have LuAnn Leggett from the Village of DeForest. With a tight budget and only 53 full-time staff, completing projects was a bit of a tightrope act for the Village of DeForest, Wisconsin. You know, the village relies on outside contractors ranging from IT projects to acquiring legal counsel, and they prefer this approach because it helps keep their costs down. The village was looking for a tool that could help extend its staff's capabilities and help reduce their budget and need for assistance from outside contractors or additional staff. That's when the Village of DeForest turned to OnBase from Hyland. With LuAnn's leadership and vision, she began working with Naviant to deploy agenda management and other OnBase solutions throughout the village. Like I said, we're so honored to have her today as our guest, able to hear her journey. And at this time, I'm excited to turn it over to her.
Wow, thank you so much, Colin and Brandon. That's really a nice introduction. And welcome to this conversation we're going to have about our journey with OnBase and Agenda and everything that Naviant has done for us. Let's just start with just a little bit of a background about the Village of DeForest. We are a small community. We are located just northeast of Madison, Wisconsin. We're home to good schools, good football teams. We're near our airport. And because of this great location, we are the fastest growing community in Dane County. As you all know, when you're growing, that creates a lot more work, a lot more agenda items, a lot more documents to store and manage. And we've been able to grow and handle that growth without adding more staff. And I have to say a lot of that has to do with the power of OnBase and specifically Agenda and what it gives to us. Let's take a step back a little bit and talk about where we came from. Back in 2005, we were a Sire customer. When I first started, we did one of our first meetings electronically. We love Sire. We wanted to keep them, but unfortunately they were bought out by Hyland, and we loved the products that we had. But we needed, an update, and that wasn't going to come from Sire anymore. So we started working with Naviant to convert our modules of Sire to OnBase with a focus on agenda, document management, and AP workflow. And as I just said, kind of got ahead of myself. I get excited about this. These are the modules that we focused on. we do not have an internal IT department, so this was me leading this road with Naviant's help to bring these modules to DeForest, and it was a successful transition. The village, as I said, Sire wasn't going to be upgraded, so we started looking for new software companies. We did research a lot of them. And I have to say, one of the biggest things that we wanted is we wanted to at least grow with the functionality that we were going to get from the software company we chose. And we wanted it all under one umbrella because we are so small and we're so thin as far as the staff goes. We wanted one place we could go to get the answer to our solution issues. We could find great document management companies. We could find good agenda companies, but none that fit under the one umbrella that we wanted until we met with Naviant. Why did we choose Naviant? Well, I know that they're hosting this, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I knew if I had an issue, I could drive to their office and sit at their desk and talk to them until I had my issue resolved, which is important to me. Now, obviously, nowadays, we're all used to other ways of talking with them, so we don't have to drive there to get their attention, which I'm thankful for. I've never actually had to do. But they're local, and that meant something to me. That is important to me. All of the modules that we were looking for at the time were there, and it just kept us efficient and producing in these times of levy limit restraints and pressure to keep taxes as low as possible for our residents. And I'm the project manager for many projects. I wear a lot of hats with the village. I'm not just a clerk. I'm the deputy administrator, so I do facilities maintenance. I do some IT things. And so Naviant was willing to work with my schedule when I had the time between doing elections and all my other duties in order to make the conversion happen in a time where I could give it my focus, which I appreciated. My view with agenda management is it's really made up of 3 different processes: pre-meeting, meeting, and post-meeting. And here's how OnBase helps with each of these processes. Pre-meeting, the software is a time saver with easy to create agendas, included packet documents, compile and post and publish directly to our website. During the meeting, staff and the public can access information through our website. Our board can access the agenda and packet through Agenda to Go, and where they can store their notes and questions. And I have to say, if you are looking at agenda management, the Agenda to Go is where it's at. My board absolutely will not go to any other agenda platform unless it has an option like Agenda to Go, because they can follow along looking at the items throughout the meeting. They have their notes there. I can't even, as an OnBase administrator, see their notes. They can look at them. They know what questions they want to ask, and it makes the meeting so much more efficient. And then the third part of the meeting is the post meeting. And in that process, we can upload the minutes when approved, and soon to come, we're going to also upload our video because we are purchasing Agenda Media module, and we're so excited about that installation. Here's some key benefits the village has seen as a result of using OnBase Agenda Management. Certainly have saved us money on our copier leases. Again, you can read the slide. Ensures the most current versions are in the meeting packets. So as inevitably, just like Mr. Potato Head, as he was saying, as things change last minute, you never know if you're really going to have a final until, you know, it's the 9th hour. You can make sure that all of that is always uploaded. You don't have to print anything, which is fantastic. Any person you decide to give access to the software can see it. It's visible in the agenda planning process. Certainly has created staff efficiencies and increased productivity just because it takes so much less time with not having to print packets. We are a community where we don't give anybody a printed packet. We are paperless. So if somebody wants a packet, we can download it on a thumb drive, or we can email it to somebody, or the board gets it in their Agenda to Go. Obviously, if somebody has a need where they don't have a computer, we would certainly print a packet for them, but that has happened extremely rarely. And the biggest thing is improves public transparency. Just the fact that we can get those packets out earlier, we can get the agenda out earlier so the public can see what's happening with the village is huge. Next slide. So there we go. A little bit about non-agenda items that we have. When we converted with OnBase, we pushed heavily to make sure that our AP solution came along with it. We have 2 full-time employees who works with roughly 400 to 800 invoices a month. Those invoices come in multiple ways. They're automatically uploaded into OnBase, and we have a integration with our accounting software called Consolidate. The biggest advantage that we see with that is we can strategize our cash flow by paying invoices more often and keeping our staff workloads balanced. So that has been a huge advantage to the village, having this workflow working for us. And even because we are so light, as staff take vacations, we can work through that to have things happen while the ship doesn't stop sailing. We can keep on going. So this has been a huge helper for us. Next slide, please. I realize everybody does AP a little differently. This graphic shows where we were with our OnBase help with AP. I kind of explained it a little bit, but just to go a little bit further, paper and email documents are uploaded into OnBase workflow. Staff performs a little data entry, and the interface retrieves information from Consolidate and returns that information to complete the keying of the document. So that keying is only done once. It automatically can bring those keywords into OnBase. Then the approval process happens. So no paper is tossed around the village while we're getting approvals. That's all done electronically through OnBase. And when all the approvals are done, or if, say, it's not approved, it's sent back because we had an issue or a change where the accounting team needs to make some amendments to how an invoice was coded. We can get those updated. And once it's all complete, it's really just a matter of clicking a couple buttons and checks can be printed and put out the mail. So this is a fantastic process that's worked well for us. Next slide, please. As I keep saying, the overall benefits gained and return on investment really results in staff efficiencies and increased productivity. Saving primarily and doing more work without having to add as many additional staff, improve sharing of information with both internal and external customers. And we continue to create more workflows. And believe it or not, I am not an IT person. I can dabble in it a little bit to do a few things, but I've created workflows for the village. Things like tracking receipts for developments in one location, created a right-of-way permits workflow. So people, businesses like our utility customers, our utilities, I should say, that need right-of-ways, they can fill out an application online. It gets sent in automatically into OnBase, and we can route that and get it sent back to them that same day. We just finished up a surety tracking. So for those of you who do letter of credits or bonds related to developments, we can track those through a workflow and make sure that we're noticed when they're about to mature. And I'm really excited for an accounts receivable workflow that we're going to be working on with Naviant with their help. That's beyond my expertise. Next slide, please. So as I said, we have some future plans. We're really excited about the OnBase Agenda Media integration. Basically, we are going to be Zooming our village board meetings into the future. And when the meeting is done, as part of that post-meeting process, we are going to be uploading the video to our website. And the advantage of that is if a resident or staff member or board member for that member later on wants to go back and rewatch a section, just like agenda item 8.2, they'll be able to click on 8.2 and watch just that one section of the meeting and see it and hear it and see the materials that were shown during it. And I think that is going to really help with transparency and also answering questions, which is a big part of what we research and do. Obviously, I'm super excited about our accounts receivable workflow. That's really going to help create more efficiencies and increase productivity. We're working heavily with our HR department in creating new online forms and workflow. We've already done some internally, but we're looking at creating our whole hiring and onboarding process efficiently through using online forms and workflow. And we're going to do that all in-house. We are working nonstop to get our other departments and other buildings using OnBase to streamline and access the information. And lastly, increase internal flow of information to staff by using our personal pages. One of the businesses we have here in town is Northkey Nook. If you've not heard of them, they're a blue ribbon winner of making pies across the nation. And we happen to have one right here in DeForest. And every once in a while, we send up a notice on our personal page that says, there's pie in the break room. And the people know if they're not there within the first 8, they're not getting any. So that's really a high. People love that here. And with that, that's really my thoughts on OnBase Agenda, document management, workflow, forms. It's a lot of possibility that Hyland and Naviant can help you and your municipalities to become more efficient. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that anybody has at this time.
Great, thank you, LuAnn. Let me pull up questions panel here, and please, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the questions panel, and we'll continue to ask them. One question that we have is, what training have you gone through personally?
I have done the OnBase workflow administrator training, and I have done the OnBase administrator training. They're week-long training sessions that you can do, and you should renew them every 2 years. Is that right, Colin and Brandon? And really, just with those 2 trainings, I've been able to do workflows internally for my municipality.
Great, thank you.
Perfect. And we have another question. Was the Sire conversion your first experience with OnBase?
Yes, it was. I started working with the Village in 2005, and we had Sire all the way until we converted to OnBase. But in that research, when we were looking at other companies to consider and taking these modules over for us, we really could not find somebody who could duplicate having everything under one roof, which is why we went with OnBase.
Great, thank you. Another question, and I can take this one. How can we go about getting a demo of OnBase? At the conclusion of this, I will, and you know what, actually, let me just move that ahead. There at the bottom right of this screen is Brandon and my contact information. Please reach out to either one of us, and we can help schedule that for you.
Can I just add to that?
Yeah.
You know, I'm just a girl who works on it. So if you are interested in learning from me and maybe seeing our solution just as a real solution instead of the demo solution, feel free to contact me.
Great, thank you. That's a very generous offer. Appreciate that, LuAnn.
And then it looks like we have one more. So how was the transition from one agenda system to the OnBase system? I guess the question is, was there a learning curve for the end users or the employees at all?
Well, I have to say, obviously, with any time that you're transitioning, there's a learning curve, right? I mean, I would be lying if I said no. But really, compared to the solution that we had before with Sire, the interface with the OnBase Agenda was so much easier to use that once they did their first meeting, everybody was good to go. There really wasn't a lot of training after that. So what I did is I created a training that I did with all my agenda preparers in the village. And we sat down one day and we went through it together. And then when they had their first real meeting that they had to do, I donated my time with them to sit down with them just to make sure that they understood it. And really after that, there hasn't been the need for additional training.
Great. So looks like we have just a couple of quick questions here that we can answer very quickly before we wrap up. One question was, LuAnn, how can they contact you? What's the best way?
If you Google Village of DeForest in Wisconsin and go to contact us or the staff page, you'll see my email address there, and I believe our phone number is there too.
Great, thank you. And then the last one here was a request to have the study that I cited sent out. So it looks like Christina, yeah, I'll send that out to you after we wrap up the meeting today. Also, all of you that attended today will get a copy of the slide deck and a copy of the recording so that you can review or share as you want. And then looks like, let's see. Yes, and then the last question was just asking if you could share your training material. So I would ask Kathleen if you could just reach out to LuAnn. I'm sure she'd be happy to direct you with some of that, and you can connect that way. So, okay, Chad, I just saw that. Great, Chad, I'll send that a study to you as well. And Laura, perfect. So it sounds like there's quite a bit of interest for that. So yep, I can send that study out. Thank you all for joining today. Really appreciate your participation, and look forward to talking with you all soon or seeing you on another webinar. We do have another webinar coming up next week focused on public access. So it'll be a great webinar to follow up on this one. We'll go ahead and end the recording and the session today. And like I said, we look forward to talking to you all soon. Thank you and bye-bye.